Bring your attention now just to the present moment. The best way to access that is to feel the body. As long as you're feeling sensation, you are in the present moment. It's the only place that you can actually feel the body is here and now. So to begin with, just feel the whole body. Perhaps there are places in the body that draw you more than others. Perhaps they ache or hurt in some way. That often brings us to something. See if you can relax whatever part of the mind tries to evaluate what you're experiencing. And allow that to just quiet and simply notice how the body is right now. And then bring the attention to the breath. If you'd like, you can take a couple of breaths that are deeper than you would naturally and just let them go on the out breath. It's a way to both enliven and release any tension that you're coming with. Do that a couple of times and then let the breath just settle into its natural rhythm. While you're directing the attention to the body and the breath, just take a glance at the mind. Not too much, just to notice what state you're arriving in. If you're kind of hassled, notice that. If you're calm already, notice that. If you're sleepy or tired, notice that. Just take a little assessment very quickly. Mostly we're bringing our attention into the body. Relax. I'll guide you on a scan through the body, which helps to bring you into the body and also as a way to bring the mind into focus. So beginning with the scalp, just feel whatever sensations make up the scalp. Warmth, coolness, pulsing, tingling, pressures, vibrations, even just the sense of form there, or sometimes there's blankness, and that's just fine. Let whatever you feel be just what you feel. It's not right or wrong. Just feeling the scalp. Now the sides of the head, including the ears. And as the mind wanders and starts thinking of anything else, you notice that. Just come back to the body, back to feeling the body. Now the face, just receiving whatever sensations make up the face. Feeling the face from inside the face. If you're visualizing, notice that. And just come back to the actual sensations inside the face. If you find you're holding tension around the eyes or around the mouth or in the jaw, relax that. Mostly we're bringing attention to things just as we find them. There's a lot of tension in the face that is not in our conscious control. So just let that be known, let it be felt and received. Now the neck and throat. The shoulders. Whenever you come across something that maybe aches or hurts a little bit, there's a tendency of the mind to get activated around changing that and making it better. See if you can notice that if it happens. And just relax back into receiving the sensations as they are, just as you find them. It's okay to feel an ache or an itch. So the shoulders. Now the arms and the hands. Chest and the upper back. The abdomen and lower back. the pelvic area, the legs, and the feet. Feet and all the toes. So now the whole body again. Just expand your awareness till it includes the whole body. And now feeling the body as a conglomerate of sensations, pressures, pulsing, tingling, vibrating, temperature. So you're actually feeling the living, breathing body, which is dynamic, which has lots of different things going on moment to moment. Usually we're in our heads and we don't notice. It's really valuable to stay here on this level of feeling the body. And now the breath. I tend to notice the breath quite broadly, feeling much of the body with it. But you're also welcome to just feel the rise and fall of your abdomen or the touch of the breath at the tip of it, at the nostril or the upper lip. So you can choose a wide focus or a narrow focus, whatever is helpful, whatever you find easier to settle with. And as you're there with the breath, noticing the whole movement of the breath from the very first sensations of the in-breath right to the last sensations of the out-breath and the pause between. And each time the mind wanders and you notice that, come back to breathing, to the next breath. Let it be okay if that happens 100 times in each minute. One of the things to see deeply is that this isn't all about control. There's not somebody inside who decides to start thinking. Thought happens. Thoughts arise. And if there's a thought judging you for the fact that you're thinking and you think you're not supposed to be, that's another thought. It's just another thought. So make it very simple and no suffering. Just as thoughts arise and you notice that, come back to the breath, feeling the breath, knowing the breath. So we set an attention in the mind. We set the intention to rest with the breath, settle with the breath. Then we notice what happens. And that's going to vary from minute to minute, from sitting to sitting. And from time to time, something else in the body might arise that's strong enough to draw your attention away from the breath. You can choose to notice that instead for a little while. Sometimes there's an ache or an itch that calls you, or just some other feeling that's noticeable. But then come back to the breath. And it's okay to enjoy the breath. It's actually quite helpful if you don't turn this into a task where the mind gets tight around what's going on and you're trying to do it right and you're trying to do it well. There's all that effort of trying. Instead, just enjoy breathing and enjoy being with the breath. It's a wholesome feeling. You're close to the force of life inside you. And sometimes, along with thoughts arising, there are different kinds of moods and mind states that come up. One of which is often, a sense of aversion to this process of meditating, like not liking it. So notice that. Again, it's not a problem. I mean, it's not pleasant to feel aversion, it's suffering. But just notice it. Aversion, boredom, sleepiness. Perhaps you become keenly interested. Notice that too. Maybe something I say cues you in some way you've not looked at your experience before. So interest or curiosity arises. Maybe there's just a lot of distraction. You have to do this kind of quickly. Notice the mind state, because being what we are, we tend to start thinking about it. If we do more than just notice aversion or notice sleepiness, we don't have to analyze it. Just notice it. Just feel what it feels like. If you're not used to meditating, sometimes impatience comes up, like, when is this going to end? That's also a form of aversion. Just notice that. By the way, I suggested you can enjoy the breath. That isn't a demand. And if you're in an aversive state of mind, it's probably not going to be possible to enjoy the breath. You can aim that way. You can aim toward enjoyment. And so before we end, just give yourself a little appreciation for doing this practice. Just a little goodwill and kindness towards yourself in this moment.